Sounds like an old school reggaeton beat.
It
was one reggaeton beat for like 10 years.
You know what?
Motherfuckers need to stop what they're doing because the podcast just started. Go outside.
Welcome to the 504 podcast.
Very, very special guest today.
He's a comedian, he's an actor, he's a singer, a rapper,
Damn,
a dancer, and an Orlando social media
rock star.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
rock star.
celebrity in our own
Baby
town.
Cal.
Welcome to the show, baby Kevin. Let's go.
Thank you guys for having me.
Can I call you that?
What an intro.
Can I call you that? Can I call you baby?
You can call me baby. You can call me baby. Whatever makes you feel comfortable.
Can I call you baby coach?
I love it. A lot of it.
I actually watched 6 hours or 7 hours of all your stuff that you posted.
Oh my God. God bless your heart, bro.
Yeah. I didn't want to like be creepy at 2 in the morning and just like something
Just
random.
like
so I like, all right, I'm not gonna like anything.
I'm usually up at that hour too, so I would have seen it. I would have been like, what is he doing?
He wants some booty.
Darwin never prepares, but for this episode, bro, you had your wallpaper on and shit and everything.
Yeah.
So it's the ones with you with the wigs on too.
Oh, it's the one with the wig.
He's
Yeah.
like, ooh.
You're a baddie. You actually look a lot like Jenny with a beard.
Wow. When I don't shave.
Yeah, I appreciate that though.
Not a
Like I
problem.
appreciate you
Not a
looking
problem.
into it for
There
real.
was one actually that I sent all these guys. There's one where you're like, you're dancing and you and your friend are both have a wig on. You have a tan dress. You have like a tan dress, and you and your friend have a wig on. And then I asked these
No.
guys, okay, go ahead.
No. It's where him and his friend are at the club and they're like, oh, look at that girl dancing. But it's him with a wig. And then he goes to dance, but then he's like,
Oh,
booty dancing.
cringe. Oh my.
It's not.
That
Crazy.
is-
It's a good video. I was wondering.
That's
if,
that's like from 2020.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was wondering
yeah.
if you guys switched dress to like, cause it shows
Are you
you.
backing up on him?
Yeah, it shows you.
Or
Did he back up on you,
is
or you
that
guys got
like
an extra?
A video.
That was an extra. I was not backing up on him. That was an extra. Yeah.
And back up on you. Y'all
wow,
changed dresses.
That video, that video is one of the first videos that I was like attempting to go viral. Like
Yeah.
that was 2020. Yeah, wow, that's.
So you were trying to go viral, or your shit just kind of you put it out there and whatever stuck.
No, so normally whenever I start, like whenever people ask me like when did I get started, I usually just start the story in 2021 because that's when really like that's when I started to really go viral.
Yeah.
And that's when a lot of things happen. But there's a lot of stories that I never really shared back in 2020. That was when I was really trying. Like ahí estaba como que just making videos that I think would go viral. Like I remember Bad Bunny came out with la canción de Yo Perreo Sola, and
Which was your first video, one of your first videos to get like I think close to 500,000. I shared it with them too.
yes,
You were singing it in the shower. I remember that one.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that video, I remember I was working at AT&T at the mall, and I remember when Bad Bunny dropped that song, Lari Poppins, que es una influencer de Puerto Rico, she made a video, and Bad Bunny reshared it. She blew up from like I think 3,000 followers to 121,000 followers like in 24 hours. And then this other girl who had done a video, like a parody video of hers, he reposted it. I think she posted hers on Tuesday. The other girl posted it on Thursday, and I called my friend. I said, yo, tengo una idea. This could be the video. This is going to go viral. But we couldn't film until Saturday. And then I filmed that video Saturday, edited same day, posted it. And it did well, but nothing happened. And it was like such a disappointment. It was like the first time like me really thinking that a video was going to go viral and then realizing like, this is not how I thought.
Easy as it seems.
Yeah, no, and I thought, tú puedes hacer lo que era. I thought the video was great. Everybody's like, yo, this is crazy. But it did get a lot of views at the time for what I was really making in views. But it just really comes to show that you can have a video that does a lot of views, but it's not going to change your life.
Definitely. A lot of people don't know this about you actually, that it was actually Nasty Nessa, Jessica Vanessa, and Baby Cows that made twerking viral. That video, I seen you tag Nasty Nessa on one of those videos.
Yeah.
I got on. Yeah, help me go to sleep at night.
Yeah.
I'm gonna walk
I
you to
didn't
your car after
I
the
didn't
show,
even.
alright?
I didn't even remember that. Honestly, I was like,
Nah, one of the early videos you're talking about wanting to go viral and wanting to go viral on TikTok, and one of those was you wanted to be the biggest Spanish TikToker there. Do you feel like you're close to where you want to be, and who is the biggest Spanish TikToker? Because I don't get no Spanish feeds except for you.
yeah. So one of my goals was to become. So I thought, you know what? Let me start with mi isla, with Puerto Rico. I was like, you know what? Why don't I become the biggest Puerto Rican content creator, right? Comedian at the time. So all of my videos were in Spanish. I was trying to target just Puerto Rico because I figured, over here in Estados Unidos, so much competition.
Yeah.
Puerto Rico is smaller. Puerto Rico has its own economy, its own people. I could be famous, live a good life, and be in Puerto Rico. And I could be famous in Puerto Rico. And then over here, I could be a nobody. Yeah. I thought it was just an easier route. And it worked because I was blowing up over there, going viral. Pero then I realized, a lot of people didn't even know that I spoke English.
Yeah.
Because everything was in Spanish. I was trying to hide the fact that I spoke English. I didn't want people to think that I was like a fake Puerto Rican. Este de por allá. Because that's the thing. A lot of Puerto Ricans from the island, they give you a lot of hate si tú no eres like de ahí. So then I was like, you know what? Let me just focus on that. But then I was like, why am I, cutting, I'm like cutting opportunities here. Porque if I'm more dominant in English, that means that I can expand my comedy and everything. So then I eventually made the switch, but it took a while for that. I don't know who the biggest Latino.
Who's someone you look up to? What made you want to start doing these videos?
Not to cut you off. Remember LeJuan James?
Yeah,
LeJuan.
so the thing is, like,
LeJuan
yeah,
James
he's from
is big,
Orlando.
yeah.
So to be honest with you, before I even got into comedy, I was never on, like, I didn't care about social media. I wasn't one of those social media people. I didn't care for it all. I would post like cosas personales. I tried doing like motivational stuff at some point, but I didn't really care to consume anything. And then when I was like, okay, I want to do comedy, but I had to do it online because la pandemia y todo, and I couldn't do stand-up, I was looking, okay, who are the people that are doing comedy que son Latinos? And LeJuan was one of the first people that I saw. Willie Sang was another one. Who actually became a really good friend of mine now, and it's crazy how the world works. But when I first saw him, I was like, yo, this guy is really big in Puerto Rico. And it's funny enough, when I saw that LeJuan was one of the biggest ones, I found out who his manager was, which is Ricky Padilla, who's also in Orlando. And I started following him, and he was looking for he posted on his story looking for somebody to host. And at the time, I was like, yo, I want to get into comedy, though maybe I can host like one of his shows or something. And in my head, I thought hosting was like what we know as comedians as hosting, but it wasn't. It was like en la discoteca. It's more of a promoter.
Okay,
like you're a
okay.
promoter. So that was, and I reached out to him. I said, yo, I'm willing to do whatever. I want to be a host, whatever. And he's like, okay, bring people. So I called my sister. I called all of my friends. I said, I need you guys all to show up. So then I went there, and the girl in the front, at the end of the night, they pretty much like, they look at how many people the promoters brought. And then she told Ricky, she was like, yo, there's this kid, Kel. He brought in like, I think like 40 people. And it was a lot of people. And he was like, oh, okay. So then he spoke to me afterwards. He's like, so what do you do, bro? And I was like, oh, I'm a comedian. Like, that's what I do. But I hadn't even really posted a video before. But I knew that he was managing LeJuan. And he's like, I work with LeJuan. And I was like, oh, really? Oh, that's what a coincidence.
Don't you say?
Yeah, I was like, that's pretty cool. And then, we started talking a little bit about that, and he was like, if you're really serious, he showed me a conversation between him and LeJuan, and showed me how much money LeJuan James was actually making for a video at the time, and that just kind of showed me the opportunity. And then he gave me the advice. I remember, I never forget, the advice he told me was like, he's like, if you don't curse and you keep your stuff family friendly, you'll be able to work with some of the biggest brands, and that's where the money is. And then after that, he invited me over to the radio station. We kind of built a friendship, and he just kind of gave me some pointers. And then I remember one time I reached out to him, and I said, yo, I'm going to, like, I think of you like Phil Jackson. LeJuan is your Michael Jordan. Like, I'm going to be your Kobe, like, manage me type of thing. But he was like, no, I'm not. Like, I've had a lot of people pitch me this idea and everything like that. And, I'm pretty sure a lot of people reached out to him to, like, manage him, and he's probably seen it a lot. And the amount of people that actually didn't really do anything with it. But I knew I was going to do something with it. I haven't had any communication with him for years now, but it's kind of pretty cool to see that, like,
Shout
I
out
did
to
what
him
I...
if this is
Yeah.
Shout out LeJuan.
Yeah. So
neighbors.
that was one of the, like, that was one of the inspirations that I had. And a lot of people, when I was first making videos, were like, tú eres bien parecido a LeJuan. There's a lot of similarities. And obviously I took inspiration from him. So I would say he was one of the people that at first, but I don't really have anybody that I would tell you that I was like, because I never really cared for it. I know, like, Marco, el venezolano
Marco Música.
Yeah, Marco Música. I know, like, he's probably the biggest Latin creator in my opinion, pero he really touches like el mercado de Latinoamérica.
I don't love his content, but I think he's been really smart with what
Yeah,
he's done.
yeah. I'm not. I wouldn't say like I'm the biggest fan. I also don't get the humor a lot. Maybe
I
it's
don't
because
either.
it's funny because he's Venezuelan and I've had other Venezuelans tell me that they don't really like. Pero you gotta respect what
Hey,
he's
I'm not
done
beefing
in the
with
game.
anyone. I'm not
so.
beefing with anyone. I love your
No.
content. I don't know who you are.
No.
He's like, bring him on the podcast.
Marco, that guy, when I first got to the U.S., I went to a club. It was like a restaurant / club at night, and he was the bouncer that night. And I was 18,
Wow.
Oh, shit.
and he didn't let me in. And then months later, I was watching Instagram, and I saw him. I believe he was with Isra de Corcho, was just another Venezuelan dude that does social media. And I was like, oh my God, that's the motherfucker that rejected me from the. from
Is there 3 of
that
them
club.
and they do comedy?
That's
Just
what he
No,
remembers
but
from.
I think
That's
you're
what the-
talking
where the beef
about.
started.
Yep.
You're talking about Escuela de Nada.
Maybe. 'cause I went
It's
to
a
one of his
podcast.
shows.
Three
Yeah, I went to one
three
of his
people.
shows,
Yeah, they're really good too.
Yeah. He's
Shout out
married
to
to a
Escuela de
Mexican.
Nada.
I don't know who they are.
He's like, I don't know who they are,
I
but
went
shout
to,
out.
I went to the show. I went to the
Yeah.
show.
Okay.
It was pretty funny. He was talking about being married to a Mexican. I was like, yeah, Mexicans are funny.
Oh yeah, he's married to a Mexican.
Yeah.
That's Nacho.
So
Yeah.
you do stand up too, right?
Yeah, I started doing stand up in November last year.
What was that transition like? Because I know a lot of people who start online, it sometimes doesn't transition over.
Yeah,
very well.
it doesn't usually like a transition over really well for a lot of people. I know I have good friends that have been able to do videos on social media.
Yeah.
And they have been very successful with doing stand up.
Yeah.
Pero I think I knew going into it that it wasn't gonna be easy. Like
Yeah.
you know, a lot of people and when I first got into the scene, I didn't want to tell anybody that I did videos on social media because I wanted to learn the game. I wanted to go through the ropes just like everybody else. I wanted to go to these, open mics, learn the game, get good. I knew that if I put a show, people would show up because of my following. But if
Yeah.
they showed up and I was garbage, like I don't want that. Like my biggest, there's nothing that feels better than going to a show where nobody knows who I am. And at the end of the show, they're like, yo, you're really funny. That was funny. You should keep
Right.
doing comedy, because then they're just judging me based off what they saw on stage. But that transition at first, and I mean, you were one of the first people. Like I think I the day that I remember seeing you at Austin's, that was like my third open mic, and I think the hardest thing for me was, and it still is, I'm still learning. You go from writing videos where you're creating characters, and then when you're on stage, you want to be you. And so I think the hardest thing was learning how to write through my voice
Yeah.
versus a character's voice. And then writing videos, I'm writing things that I think my audience on social media would like to hear, but doesn't feel so true and authentic to me. Porque I do the videos, but when you get to meet me off camera, some people might be like, yo, he's actually more chill than what I expected. I thought he'd be more like, yo, what's up? Oh, tú sabes, like, but I'm not really like
And
that.
I think that's the only thing that sucks about being a comedian is when you have to meet people after the show. Is like they want you to keep being that person.
Yeah.
You kind of have to it's me, but I don't know if I could be comfortable around you because something I say might offend you, something I say might be crazy. So I understand most of the people that hit me up about you, which I don't know a lot of people, but someone told me that they went to one of your shows and they were like, hey, he's really humble in real life. I didn't know he's gonna be like that. He's a really sweet dude. I was like, yeah, he's really sweet, really down to earth.
That's how I treat stand up though, because it's like up there, it's like a persona. I like to treat it as
Yeah,
that's the
I-
person I want to be.
Yeah.
I wish I could be.
No,
like
no.
a confident guy.
I think
stage.
on stage it's me times 100.
Yeah, I
Exactly.
was gonna say, I feel like it's an amplified
Version of
version
yourself.
of you, and
Yeah.
maybe more of like a more passionate version of you.
Yeah.
Like if I'm mad about something in real life on stage, I'm gonna be even more mad about it.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? Pero I think that transition has been fun. It's been difficult, especially in Orlando. Orlando has a different type of comedy scene. A lot of the first, a lot of these open mics that I was coming out here, there wasn't a lot of Latinos in the audience. So, the relatability, I'm saying things that maybe they're not relating to. So I feel like it's made me a better comedian because it's like, I got to make these people laugh that they may not even relate to the way that I grew up. So I got to find some relatability to it. But it's been fun, man. I've enjoyed it. There's been some bad times and there's been some good times. So
I'm gonna ask this question to the general podcast.
Mhm.
But you say you make your videos because it reminds you of what you grew up with, like what home was.
yeah.
And what's your fondest memory of you growing up? And I'm asking that to all y'all. Like, what's your fondest memory? But
you can go ahead.
Go ahead, Kel.
I think I think just overall as a kid, I was always playful. I was kind of always a little troublemaker, but I was like the troublemaker that like teachers liked. Like, este no se queda quieto. He's he's funny and annoying in class, but we like him. Like he's charming. Like he's not obnoxious. And I think like I don't really have like one specific memory. I just remember playing a lot with toys. I would always play with my toys, like imagine, like just like create different scenarios and stories with my toys, and just I watched a lot of comedy. Like growing up, I didn't watch a lot of cartoons. Like I watched Shrek for the first time last year.
that's my favorite romantic comedy. When I want to pick up a girl, I just tell him a donkey told dragon.
Donkey.
What do you say?
He told Dragon was about to eat him. He was like, "Oh, look at your shiny teeth. Oh, you're a girl dragon. Of course you're a girl dragon. Got her pregnant. You know what else you need? What else?"
I saw a post on that actually the other day that said like I'm still trying to figure out how Donkey like got Dragon pregnant.
Hey man,
Have
you
guys
seen them
Shrek
donkeys?
in Spanish?
Say that again.
Shrek.
Shrek in Spanish?
Oh, they say that Shrek in Spanish is
It's hilarious, bro. It's 10 times better than in
Yeah,
English.
that's what
I
I've heard.
swear.
That's what I've heard.
Eddie Murphy's
You
donkey.
gotta-
Though. Eddie Murphy's super funny. There's
Well, burro or donkey
yeah.
in Spanish is Eugenio Derbez, so it's mad funny. You know that guy?
I don't know.
No.
yeah.
Who?
You got
You know what Eddie Murphy is?
Eugenio. I do who Eddie Murphy is. Eugenio Derbez.
Okay.
I'll check it out though.
I'll look him
I'll
up
check
for
it
you.
out.
Okay.
You know who he is.
But yeah, I think like growing up, I never really watched movies like that. My dad would play a lot of stand up, and he would play a lot of movies. Rush Hour 3, Rush Hour 2, and 1 were
Ooh,
movies that I would
yes.
like. Chris Tucker was somebody that I loved watching in those movies, and I would rewatch those movies over and over.
Do you understand the word that's coming out of my mouth?
Rush Hour 1 is probably the first movie,
Okay.
live action movie that I watched in America. Dragon Ball Z was the first actual movie. Yeah. What's your fond memory? What's your
I mean, if it's related to comedy,
No, just as a kid, like my memory is I remember when I was this is why I'm fat. I remember when I was home. I remember when I was
Beautiful,
home and
bro.
it'll be like Thanksgiving break and you're getting out of school. It's kind of cold. I would walk home and then I remember like opening the door and you just smell my mom cooking empanadas and then just it brings that. That's like what Christmas is supposed to feel like. That little bit of cold.
like that.
Yeah. That's a fond memory I have.
yeah, I would say it's also during the holidays. My great grandma's house, because all the family would come in. You know, we were a big family. It was my great grandma, so you imagine how many
Yeah,
people
wow.
she has down the road. So that was pretty fun. All my family is super funny. On my mom's side, my dad's side, they're super serious. So I hope I'm more like my mom's side of the family, honestly.
Y'all got a fond memory?
Me? I mean, my mom's Puerto Rican as fuck. So
Yeah.
the only memories I have is my mom is always yelling. 'Cause she's like, bro, she was so like a fucking like a.
You messed up one of our games. You were supposed to guess which one of us is from Puerto Rican. You're like, my mom's Puerto Rican as fuck.
Bro, because it was like my mom was always yelling because the house had to be clean. Yo no soy puerca. Yo no soy fucking puerca.
You know.
Bro, Saturday,
I watch
Sunday
your
we're cleaning.
videos and I get annoyed with my mom. Actually, I'll be watching your videos and I'm like, damn, this reminds me so much of my mom. I'll be getting a little pissed sometimes.
I feel that, bro. I feel that. And then it's funny because like my mom will watch the videos and she'll be like, "Ay, pero yo no era así."
Bro, the fucking amnesia they have
just-
about shit.
Yeah,
I'm just
like,
making
"Well,
this
that never
shit up."
happened. and all that. Like I would, yo nunca fui así. I'm like, no, so
Bruh.
I'm just making this up. But yeah.
Yeah.
Kel, yo nunca te pegué.
Yo nunca
Yeah.
te di, you know,
What?
And then I'll tell my dad, right, papi? And my papi, no, yo no sé nada. And I'm like, papi, you held me down while she was hitting me. Like, come on now.
Really ridiculous. Yeah, my fondest memory was my mom chasing me around the house with a chancleta.
That's your fondest memory. You had a rough life, didn't you?
That's why she likes
It wasn't
get-
rough. My mom was just that strict, bro.
That's why she likes getting spanked to this day. She's
No,
like,
she would tell my dad to go to the room and grab the belt while she watched me. That way I wouldn't run off.
Yeah.
And she's like, no. tú te quedas aquí, blah, blah, blah. And then she'd be like, go get the belt. or
You
whatever.
you get in the frame. I don't know if you're in the frame or not. Okay.
We got Christian.
We got
with
a
us.
Jamie. This is our Jamie,
He's a
guys.
comedian.
Shout out
He's
to
gonna be
Christian.
our Jamie,
Hey, I
our
saw Christian do
producer
comedy
from
last
now
night. You did
on.
well, homie. In a bad room, you did well, homie. I see you.
He's a funny guy.
He is very funny.
Do you want
I
to share
love
with
his
a
writing.
fond memory? Get
Take that shit away from her.
This one time, I went to Walmart with my dad, and he was buying hair gel, and he wanted to see if it felt good. So he opened it up, put his fingers, and played with it for a little bit. And he's like, "That's a good hair gel." And he put the one he touched back,
and he took another one.
Grab another one. Like, that one's been touched.
Fun ass memory.
You gotta test one. I do the same shit with deodorant. I smell one, I put it back, and then I grab one I didn't touch.
I do that with hairspray
Hairspray,
or perfume.
perfume.
Like, I'm like, okay, let me grab the one that's.
Bro, that's why that makeup aisle has so many cameras in Walmart, bro. You gotta be escorted in that bitch.
You got a fond memory now that's heartwarming. What-
I mean, I think you know.
You got
I grew up in Puerto Rico.
Bobby,
Till
you
I grew up in Puerto Rico till I was like 14. I think, you know, I was there with my parents were really, really strict with me. Like, my dad did not let me go out. I couldn't even check the mail. And I was homeschooled for several years in Puerto Rico. Like, I never went to a middle school. It was all homeschooled. And my dad is a teacher in Puerto Rico, so he pretty much homeschooled me. And you know, like, growing up, honestly, like, it was tough. Like, my parents were very strict. I never got the toys that I wanted for Christmas. My parents made me work for anything that I wanted. If I wanted like a toy or something, it was like, yo, go work at, you know, grandpa's store, and you'll pay for the things that you want. And, you know, we'll just pay for your food, a roof over your head. I'm grateful for that now, because now I never wait for things to come to me. I go after them. But I would say just like, you know, I guess spending the holidays with family. I think my extended family, being able to spend time with my aunts, my cousins, that's something that I miss a lot, especially because over here in the States, you know, I would have like a birthday or a party every weekend. And over here, I feel like everybody's kind of like to themselves.
Yeah.
So I think what I miss most is just being able to have that community of my family close.
I remember we didn't celebrate Christmas. Well, I didn't know about Santa Claus till I was like 8 or something, because the teacher told me, like, yeah, Santa Claus is real. He's watching you. Ask your mom about him. Like, the teacher telling us that, and I'll go home like, hey, mom, teacher's telling me about Santa Claus. She's like, yeah. I'm like, oh, I get to ask her something? She's like, yeah, write it down on a note, put it under your pillow. And then I was writing down Nintendo 64. I'm showing my age here.
Your parents were like, God damn it, who told me?
Yeah, who told them we were
want to buy nothing.
we were trying to hold off as long as possible.
I wrote down Nintendo 64, and my mom was like, why don't you ask him for clothes? Why don't you ask him for clothes? Guess what I got that year?
What did you get?
Nothing.
Nothing.
I woke up to nothing. But it makes me it makes me love my memories like that, because we didn't really need anything. Like, you know, what did I need clothes for? About to cry. What is it?
He's about to
No. I don't need anything. We're gonna play a game real quick. This or that. You're gonna pick which one you would prefer.
Okay.
Chuletas o bistec encebollado.
Bistec encebollado. Because chuleta's pork, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
pork.
I
Yeah.
don't like pork.
Yo, some people be frying.
Are you
chuleta. That's
Muslim,
fucking
bro?
Disgusting, homie.
Frying chuleta?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
gross.
I don't think there's no other way to do it, right?
Yeah,
Don't you
chuleta's
make it?
fire.
You fry it too?
No, you're supposed to fry
Yeah, I
it.
think
It's
that's-
better fried.
It's better
Oh,
fried.
it's like crispy
On its own
and juicy.
fat.
Yeah.
But you can bake it.
Yeah,
And
my mom never
butter.
fried shit, homie.
Really?
So it was always, yeah.
Wow. That's interesting.
Malta o coquito.
What the fuck?
Wow. So I don't like neither, but if I had to pick,
Really?
You don't like Malta?
I don't like.
I don't like Malta either. I thought I was gonna get my Spanish card revoked, but they just
No.
might not call it Spanish at all. We
Yeah.
lost all Spanish
Like, I don't
credibility
like
on this
neither.
podcast.
I mean, I would say coquito because I like coconut. I like that tembleque. I like that cinnamon type of feel. Pero I don't really drink either or so.
Okay. So it's coquito over Malta.
I used to
Yeah.
fuck with Malta though, 'cause that shit looked
Like-
like alcohol as a kid. You feel like you're drinking a beer with your
Like,
boys and
yeah,
shit.
yeah.
They put alcohol in coquito.
It is. I mean,
talking about Malta.
Well, Malta
Oh,
is
Malta.
a cerveza. It's a beer.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's if you look at the bottle, this is cerveza. It's a beer. It's just a
Yeah, it has no
alcoholic beer.
alcohol.
No shit, I didn't know.
Oh shit.
But it's brewed like a beer.
What is it? America appropriated Hispanic culture.
Why is that?
Yeah, because they have non-alcoholic beer now,
Oh.
and we've been on that.
Yeah,
Hey,
been on that
What are
for
we
a-
doing,
Yeah,
Americans?
we've been on that.
we
Come
did
on.
that
Some
a long
reparations, too.
time ago.
Need some reparations.
Sandwichito o pastelito de guayaba?
Ooh.
Ooh,
I'll take los pastelitos de guayaba.
let's go.
Yes.
You're a sweet guy, huh? You like sweets? Because sandwichito is fire. I don't think
Bro,
sandwichito was hard. I had to like.
No,
What I have
guava.
with me just in case I got hungry. Like,
Oh shit. Yeah,
Thank
you're a sweets guy. I'm a sweets guy too. I think sandwichito was hard to like beat. So I was like, what can I put on here that would make it a competition?
I like that one though.
Yeah.
That those two choices that was tough, but I'm gonna take los pastelitos
Yeah,
de
I
guayaba.
like-
Love
like-
Quavo, homie.
That was an easy one for me.
Really, what?
Guayaba.
Guayaba? Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm a sweets guy, so I did it. But sandwichito is so good. Like it's probably my favorite thing.
With
to get.
sugar, without powdered sugar.
with powdered sugar.
Yeah.
Have to.
Bad Bunny or Daddy Yankee?
Ho-
Bad Bunny.
Really?
He's a bigger
Why?
artist. He's more.
Yeah. I
diverse.
think the reason I picked Bad Bunny is because I feel like Daddy Yankee, one thing that I like about Bad Bunny, so like a lot of the things that I do even with my business, like I try to just kind of like resemble like the mastery of his artsmanship and the way he runs his business, whether it's him or Noah or his team and Rimas. I just like how you see how Bad Bunny started off and you see the artist that he is today. He evolved. Whereas if you look at Daddy Yankee from the 90s and you look at Daddy Yankee's last album, I feel like a lot of the songs still sound the same. He just kind of like, just still to me sounds very similar, whereas Bad Bunny has been able to take a risk and experiment with different sounds and everything, and I think that's what makes you a good artist and a relevant artist too, because Daddy Yankee's last album, I don't think it even did that well, and you look at somebody like Arcángel, who I would put over Daddy Yankee because Arcángel is still more relevant than Daddy Yankee. I think that Daddy Yankee being one of the pioneers is looked at like,
The father.
but I
Legend
think
Daddy.
I think that like, to me it's almost like, Daddy Yankee might be like Michael Jordan and LeBron James is like Bad Bunny. And some people just don't ever want to let it go because, Bad Bunny is still active and LeBron James is still active. But I think when it's all said and done, I think you can look at LeBron James and Bad Bunny, right, and be like, yo, they overexcelled what these guys did, but they wouldn't probably have been able to do what they did if it wasn't like Bad Bunny would not be able to do what he did if it wasn't
if
for
he
Daddy
was a
Yankee,
pioneer.
So you still have to give him that respect. But me personally, I think I like how Bad Bunny has been able to take risks and not and just play with different sounds. So
It's like a Drake.
That's my favorite.
I like
Shit has
that.
always progressed.
That's my favorite.
yeah,
Bad Bunny
that's what
lyric.
keeps him relevant.
Yeah, bro.
That's my favorite Bad Bunny lyric. I was talking to LeBron James about conversation about millionaires. My bad. I mean multimillionaires.
Oh
My
yeah,
bad. I mean billionaires.
billionaires. Yeah,
Yeah, that's my favorite,
Yeah,
Bad Bunny lyric.
that's a tough bar. I like that.
But the thing about Bad Bunny, he don't get that love in Puerto Rico from like the older folks. Cause my mom fucking
No,
hates him.
no.
Like, "Ese sucio, que
Yeah,
guau."
but
I
if-
think it probably has to do with the language.
It's
Oh, yeah.
definitely it's
But he
definitely
takes
the
that
language.
risk.
It's
Like-
definitely the language.
Yeah.
for sure.
Same thing with Anuel. It's like they're the
But
shit
I
that they're
think
rapping
that
about.
happens with all generations. Like when rock and roll came out, I'm sure the old people were like, "Oh my god!"
But
that's
Yankee
so
didn't
horrible.
get that. Yankee didn't get that hate the way like Anuel.
But
and
they
Bad
grew
Bunny.
up. They grew up. It was like
Well, I mean, when Daddy Yankee was still coming out, like reggaeton was illegal in the streets. You couldn't. That
Was
was
it really?
Yeah, yeah. You
That's why
couldn't.
it's underground music.
Yeah, it was underground music. You couldn't listen to reggaeton. Like that's why they would vender los CDs out of the trunk, make sure nobody was watching and everything
Oh,
like
shit,
that.
it was like
yeah,
that?
it was illegal to listen to reggaeton. And yeah, people didn't like that, but then eventually like, people came around and it's just like I think like he said, it's like a generational thing, because if you listen to a lot of these lyrics from salsa, they're talking about
That's very
the
true.
dirtiest
What was the
thing.
one
They're
that we
pretty
were
raw.
talking about?
Romeo
the
Santos
one
was-
with there's a song that talks about being a fish. And
Yeah, quisiera ser un pez para tocar tu nariz en tu pecera, but
that's a fire song, bro.
the thing
That's
about
poetic.
the thing, yeah,
That's William
it is
Shakespeare-esque.
poetic. It is, but I think what it is that they were a little bit less direct. I want to touch my nose in your fish tank. Versus
Fire.
Bad Bunny would be like, yo, te quiero mamar, me entiendes? Te quiero mamar el culo. Like I
He's
want to do all
more
these things.
straightforward.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm not gonna do it.
He's like, I'm not gonna
poetically.
sugarcoat it for
Yeah,
you, baby.
exacto. So, but I feel like we live more in a generation.
I actually
where
hate
things are
talking to
more
women
open.
that I can't sugarcoat shit with. It's like, what are you saying? I gotta be direct now. I gotta tell you that I want to put it in your ass. What? I hate when I can't sugarcoat it. This is Spanish.
Is that how you feel?
Baby Kel. So, would you rather be famous or happy?
I'd rather.
Isn't it the same?
Right? Isn't it the same thing?
It's a trick question.
I'd rather be rich.
Okay, well that was the other question.
Royce 5'9" has a lyric that says,
would you rather be rich but unknown or famous but poor?
I'd rather definitely be rich and unknown.
Okay.
I would much rather have money and be completely unknown.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
I don't know. I once heard a quote: "Shame on those who choose money over power." Like power is more important than money.
but he's not choosing money or power. He's choosing fame and unknown and money.
Because I
versus
think
famous.
you could be
Okay.
because listen, some of the most powerful people on earth, you don't know who they are. Like
Right.
like for example, like you have people that are the face of things, and you think that they're the most powerful people, but really it's the people that you don't know that are pulling the strings.
Makes sense.
So, but the reason that they're pulling the strings is because they probably have the most money. So I think, yeah, like I don't. It's kind of weird because I am in social media and I do have a following, pero like I never really like that's not something that I ever strive for, and I think that's the difference when. And I think that's why people tell me when they talk to me versus maybe they talk to a different type of creator, is because that's not something that I ever really like, you know, was looking to do. You know what I mean? I wanted to, when I was a little kid, I did tell my mom that I wanted to go down in the history books, pero it's not something that motivates me, you know. And I realized a long time that you can have a lot of fame, but it doesn't mean that you're financially well off.
Yeah.
You can make
No,
a
of
lot of
course
money,
not.
and it doesn't
Facts.
mean that you're financially well off. It's not about how much money you make, but it's about how much money you keep. That's why you see a lot of athletes and celebrities that while they're in their
broke
peak,
after.
they're broke after because yeah, you're making $1 million, $2, $5, $10 million a year, but you're spending so much, and by the time you're no longer making that kind of income, your expenses are still very high. So they're not smart with their money, and that's why I'm like usually like a lot of times I remember being in business and everything. I would be in conversations when people try to flex. Yeah, I'm making $1 million a year, y todo, and those are the people that were like big red flags to me because it's like, yeah, like if you have to really like tell somebody how much money you're making, you're probably not making that much money, or you're probably not keeping that much money. That's one thing that I learned, and it's like it really shows you.
All right,
That old
before-
money versus
Wait,
new
I have a
money.
question.
It was 3. Go ahead.
Okay. Baby Kel, how does your family feel, or how did your family feel when you made it, you know, or like started blowing up on social media?
Wow, that's a good question. First of all, I don't feel like I've made it. I feel like I still like I'm barely just scratching the surface and just starting. My family, man, I'll tell you, my family was my biggest non-supporters you can
Really?
imagine. Yeah, like my family always wanted to for me to go to college. They wanted me to go like the traditional route.
Traditional family.
Yeah, especially because all of my aunts, uncles, they're engineers, doctors, you know, and I was always kind of like the black sheep. I didn't go to school, and that was already like, you know, oh, you can't live in our house if you're not going to go to school. And you know, at first era, estás haciendo esos videitos ridículo, why don't you really like, you know, and that's okay because like a lot of times like I believe like, you know, the vision is given to you. They're not given to anybody else. So like you're not going to see what I see because it was given to me. And sometimes the people that love you the most are the ones that, you know, they want the best for you. So they're going to give you opinion based on what they think is best because it's the life that they've lived, not based on what they know of you or what they have for you. But I always kind of did whatever I wanted. Like my parents said, go left, I would go right. My mom would say, go right, I would go left. I just felt like, and this was my mindset at an early age. I was like, if my parents don't have, like my parents are giving me advice, but my parents don't live the life that I want to have. So why do I got to listen to them? So I started reading books on people that had the life that I wanted to have, because that as a young kid, that just made the most sense to me. So at first, yeah, it was a lot of like, oh, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you going to school? But then, you know, it started to become real when the money started coming, right? When my mom started seeing me like make money, and then she's like, oh my God. And then I think it was a really cool moment when I was in Puerto Rico and like some kid recognized me from the videos, and I'm there with my mom. And then they're like, oh, can I get a picture? And so this is like becoming real for her. And then about 2 years ago, it happened with every single person except my dad. And I went to Puerto Rico, in the middle of nowhere in Puerto Rico. And like, we go to Walmart and 3 people stop me for a picture. And my dad is very old school. So he's just like, what the heck is going on? Like, you know, and then eventually he started to come around, and, you know, it got to the point where he's a teacher, and the teachers in his school, they're on their break and they're all like sharing videos, and they have a group chat with all the teachers, and they're like, yo, Mr. Maldonado, look at this video. This kid's really funny. And my dad's like,
My kid.
that's my son.
What?
You know?
That was the first time your dad ever saw your video, was through like a chain of messages or something?
I'm sure like my mom has shown the videos to my dad, but my dad never told me anything about it. He never told me anything about it until I think it was about a year ago. He called me up and he says, hey, I just want to let you know I'm proud of you for what you're doing. I'm proud for you, you know, to stick through with what you believed in. And I started to research and learn about this whole influencer thing, and I realized you can actually make a career out of it in this generation. So, you know, and he's a school teacher. He's a high school teacher. So I think by me showing, like, you know, that even though I went against the grain, against what everything they told me, I still believed in me. I think it helped him to be able to reach the students that he reaches to, because we live in a different time now.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally different.
So they support you now and everything, or
Yeah. Now it's
Now
all
they're
different.
Now
No,
he supports
no.
them.
Oh.
Yeah. Now,
always
now mi
supported
mamá,
you.
oh yeah, mi mamá. Oh, sí, ese es mi nene, and then she wants to act
do
like
they
she
always like
sup-
invite you to family functions now because they want to show you off, or
Yeah, you know, and that's a good question, because it was really weird, because like I said, like I was always the black sheep, and then when it got really weird was I was going to like family events, and I had like aunts and family members that they would just kind of like brush me off. They're like, "Ay, que me haga una foto," and like I know they want to post it so that their friends can see and
Yeah.
stuff, and
mira mi nieto.
yeah, and I'm not gonna lie, when it first happened, I was angry. Oh, I was mad. I was like, oh, now everybody wants to support me. Like everybody was like, oh yeah, you know, I support you. But when I was struggling financially, when I was struggling in a lot of things just to make these videos happen, nobody wanted to help me. And then now everybody's like, oh yeah. And then there was a moment where I was angry. I was just an angry kid. I was like, I just wanted to say F you to all my family, to everybody. But then I realized, like, that's the process.
Yeah.
Like that was just what's gonna happen, and I have to, you know, show grace to that, because at the end of the day, like that's the journey, you know. And I remember, like, a lot of times when you grow, and I see these celebrities and these artists, whenever they're growing, they talk about how, like, oh, your family changes on you, and you know, you rap about it in the song that se viran por el dinero, blah blah blah. But when I started getting just a tiny dose, because I don't think I'm that big, but I started to experience those things in like microwaves, I'm like, wow, I can't believe this is actually like a real thing, you know, that people actually like will change up on you just for a metric, for a number that is not even real, you know. So that showed me a lot about people.
Nice. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
If there's anything that I want to keep doing, I don't know if I'll still be doing videos for the next 5 years. I know I definitely probably want to go into more production, but if there's one thing that I know right now that I want to be doing the next 5 years is stand up.
Let's go.
Stand up, yeah. Stand up is something for me that I could see myself doing for the rest of my life. Even if I don't do videos anymore, even if I lose everything, stand up is something that
Addicting.
like
it is
even
addicting.
yeah, even if I'm like, I could be running multiple businesses and everything, and stand up is something that I'll do because I just love it. And before I got into comedy videos, the idea was to do stand up. Like I even took a class, this Sax Comedy and the stand up in 2020. Oh, you took it with Ali?
Ali.
Yeah. So I took that class in 2020.
Shout out
pero
Ali.
Ali Flores. Yeah, he was, and he told me, he was like, yo, you know, write every single day. Write things that you say are funny and all these things. And I kept that for the longest, but because it was 2020, you couldn't go do stand-up. So I was like, well, I guess I can try videos in comedy videos. And then when that started kind of hitting off, I kind of like put stand-up on the back burner. I kind of forgot about it because I'm experiencing success and everything. And then last year I was like, you know, I'm growing pretty quickly. I don't want to get to the point where like I have 1 million followers. And I knew at some point I want to do stand-up, but I don't want to get to the point where, yo, he's great at video, but he's not that funny in person.
Yeah.
So I want my following to kind of match the level of stand-up that I'm doing, where it's like, oh, he's actually funnier in person. Like that'll be the greatest compliment that I could ever get, where it's like, yo, you're actually funnier in person than you are on video. That to me is like,
But you're a different person in video. You're like more. I don't know if it's easier to be high energy. If it like I'm a low energy stand up. I don't know if it's easier to be high energy in video, but you're very high energy in video. It's sort of hard to transition.
He
that
is doing
stand-up.
stand-up too. He's like really.
You're pretty high energy,
Yeah.
but I think your energy is way more up
yeah,
there in video.
in video you have to be
Like
because-
look how you came in. You came in all chill, all calm. But there's
Yeah.
a video of you twerking in your
yeah.
in your mom.
Do it. Do
Yeah.
it.
But you
I
got to
thi-
be able to turn that shit off, I think. Like, you got to be able to separate.
Yeah, I
comedy
mean,
from
when
video and
when it comes to video, it's a lot of it is more acting, right? You're
Exactly.
in character, so you know when you're a character, I could turn into a different character right now and be a
Yeah.
whole different person.
Do it.
And the thing is, how do you know I'm not?
Ooh.
Who's the real me at the end of the day?
Oh,
We'll-
multiple
we may never
personality
know.
disorder.
No.
Okay.
But the thing about the camera, for example, right? Like the camera, there's something about the camera where if I talk normal, I'll be like, "Hey, what's going on? How are you guys doing today?" My normal voice. On camera, that looks like this. "Hey, how are you doing today?" So when I'm like on camera, I'm like, "Hey, what's up, guys?" That transitions to video like, "Hey, what's up, guys?"
You've done a show with Joselito the Puppet, right?
Yeah, I did a show with him.
His YouTube, his content is the same on stage and off stage.
Yeah,
And I think that's, you could do that if you want to do that, but I think you want to transition to something else. I think you want to do stand up. So I think you could be the funny you are on videos and live.
yeah, it's just different because usually like on video, it's more about it's never about me. It's not about me. It's about the idea.
Yeah.
Right. Where on stand up, it's my idea, and if you do the same joke, it may not hit the same. But on video, I can give you the same idea. And I could literally write a video for you because I know already the ingredients that will make it go viral. And instead of casting me, I can cast you, and I can tell you that that video is still gonna do good because it's about the idea.
Yeah.
You know, where in stand up, it's the idea, but it's also who's delivering it. Because sometimes there's jokes, even like with Kevin Hart, he has stuff that isn't even that funny, but because it's him, the way he delivers it gives it, like, I can't say certain stories that he has or jokes and make it funny, but he can because it's him.
Yeah,
And I think that's what separates
That's
it.
what I'm trying to say with energy, because your energy is just a little different when you're on video versus when you're stand up. Like there's a
100%,
video,
yeah,
there's a
100%.
video of you. I think it's Beecham. You're at Beecham. You're at a Halloween costume event. I don't know if you
Yeah.
remember.
Yes. Yeah.
And if you see the people that are on stage with you, they're sort of showing that, oh, this guy's energy is different. It's because you're trying to win that Halloween costume.
Yep.
And the
That wasn't
with the
even,
gray
that
hair.
was like improvised too. Like I walked in there and everybody was like, "Yo, you got to go up." And they kind of pushed me up. And they kind of, pushed me to get up there, but that was all improvised. And I'll be honest with you too. I am like that on stage, but it's also because I'm still not 100% comfortable on stage. Like I'm still a little bit shy
Yeah.
on stage. Like
Okay.
I was telling you, and I told you the story about how I got like heckled in Miami, and I got nervous. Like this guy was like, "F you, you suck, get off stage, you've been bombing this whole time." And I had all these things that I wanted to tell him, but I got scared and I got nervous, and I just like me cohibí, and I got shy.
Yeah.
And then now I'm like, damn, there were so many funny things that I could have said to him respectfully, not making like doing it creatively, not disrespecting him. And I
time to get used to that.
yeah, I mean,
people heckling you.
on video is different because I don't really read comments like that. The feedback, you're not getting it directly, but it hurts when it's in person because it's right there, it's on the spot. But I think maybe as like time goes on and you see my stand up, because even like the last show that I did, I came in with a different energy, but I came in with more confidence energy versus like more low. And I think I'm still kind of trying to find myself on who I like being just me on stage, but definitely like if you watch my videos, you're not gonna know who I am.
Yeah.
You're not. I think when you see my stand up or you get to meet me at the level that you guys have been able to meet me, then you can be like, oh, this is who he is. And some people may not like that. Some people may not like who I am off camera. They're like, nah, put on the dress y siga haciendo video. That's where you're funny.
Want Billy.
Yeah, or they want Billy. So
No, I think people like who you are and who you give them, because it's hard being clever. It is hard being clever and funny, or something they think is offensive. Because sometimes someone will find something funny and then they'll really think about what you said. It's like, oh wait, that offends me. Like I've gotten that where I've had a good show. There was a show that you were supposed to be the darkest you've ever been, and I just went really dark. And this girl's like laughing the entire set, and she's like, wait, that was really offensive towards me. And then she walked out after my set, but she was laughing the whole time. She was having a good old time until it hit her that I was making fun of her.
Wow.
So you'll get that.
That's weird though, because like if you're laughing already, like
You don't know how things are gonna
She
affect
felt
you. a little
guilty
bit.
for laughing or something?
No, she felt guilty because what I was making fun of. I've also had things where I felt guilty where I gotta laugh. I had a joke about how I like older women. Like early on when I started comedy, I'll talk about how I like older women. And this guy, it was like, I think it was Father's Day, and I started blaming single mothers for the reason why kids have problems. And
Yo,
this
that's
kid,
bold. That's bold.
and
It is
it's just
really.
it's a stand up. And this kid was
like
on
that.
there, and he like started getting emotional with me. He said, "My mom took me to Donuts for Dads," and that was really sweet. That was really sweet. That was really sweet. But I'm looking at him. I'm like, I gotta get this crowd back on my side. I'm like, is she
Yeah.
single? Instantly, everybody laughs. They're back on my side. And then I'm like, I'm never gonna talk bad about single moms again.
Yeah, those are like those type of premises. They're very, yeah, they're strong. But as a comedian, I think you got to push the envelope. And a lot of times, like you'll see it the opposite way. We're like, wow, we got any single moms in here? We love you, but to take that risk and be like, you know what about the latter? What
No,
about
but
the
at that
opposite,
moment,
you
at that
know?
moment, that's what I felt. At that moment, I was like, damn, all these kids with single moms just messing up Father's Day. Like,
I mean,
I noticed another thing too. When Father's Day, those girls that posted that, I'm like, oh, she's doing a little better in life.
I think
It's just something I noticed. You just observe things sometimes.
I think that's the purpose of comedy. It's like making people feel something, whatever it is, whether it is a negative emotion, positive emotion. Most likely positive. That's what you want to get.
Opening
But
up the conversation.
yeah.
Dude, I've gotten hate on some of the most innocent things that I've posted on videos, and I'm like, damn, if people are gonna be mad about these things, then I'm just gonna be free, because if then I couldn't be able to do anything. Like
Exactly.
like people are always gonna get offended with, like, dude, I am clean, I'm family friendly, and people still get offended on some of the stuff that I post. So it's like, you're not gonna make people happy at the end of the day. And sometimes it's the people that give you hate. It's because they want to be heard. They want to be seen. Like, I never forget, this one lady was writing nasty comments on one of my videos, and all I responded to her was with a heart, with just 3 hearts. And she said, "Oh wow, that was so sweet. I didn't think you'd even respond, and you sent me a heart. You just earned a follower now." And I'm like, these are just people that are hurt.
Some
These are
people are looking
that
just for
I didn't need your
attention.
fault.
yeah,
Did
they,
you-
they need attention.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, people just want to be seen. People nowadays feel like they're being neglected. They're not seen. People just want to feel felt. And sometimes they'll give you hate comments just because they want that attention. And for the most part, I don't give it to them, not anymore, because now it's too much to keep track of. But that's why it's never really gotten to me, because I look at it from a different
Yeah.
eye of like, yo.
And it's
they're
at whatever
hurting,
level. I don't know if you guys like battle rap or not, but battle rappers aren't like really the most famous people. But early on, when they used to be even less famous, these battle rappers would have like maybe 1,000 or like 5,000 followers. But I'm a big fan, so I'm a fan of these guys.
Yeah.
And someone's facing someone that I don't like or someone that I like. And I remember talking trash about this battle rapper I didn't like, and he got offended and he started like talking back to me. I was like, "Oh, it's pretty cool that this guy he only has 5,000 followers. But it's pretty cool." So I did follow him. I'm still not a fan of him, but I'm not talking trash to him anymore.
Yeah, no, I feel like I mean, it makes you feel something. But I just think, like, at the end of the day, like, people want to feel felt, people want to be seen, and I don't give into that anymore. Because at first I wanted everybody to like me.
Mhm.
I wanted people's approval, especially when you're online, you're exposing yourself. But now, a mí no me importa, because the people that are gonna like me, they're gonna gravitate to me, and they're gonna, there's a book called 1,000 True Fans. You don't need 1 million followers. You just need 1,000 people that will ride or die with you to the end of the earth, that will show up to every show, that'll buy anything you drop, and you can live a very successful life with just 1,000 true fans. That's
Yo,
a great book to read.
Shout out to all the 85
Facts,
followers we
brothers.
got on Instagram, bro. 'cause
Yeah,
Love
yeah.
you.
Seriously.
You're
Seriously.
one.
Dude, it's the consistent people. Like, you may have 2 people that are, every time you drop an episode, they're listening. You just need to figure out how to get more of those. You don't want 1 million people. You want a group of people that really like your stuff, that they're like, when they see you on stage and see you perform, like, they're there for you. Like, you're like there's like fans that I'll meet at a show or something, and because they came and I barely promoted it, and they're just like, and I talk to them like we're friends.
Yeah.
Be like, "Yo, what's up? How you been?" Or they'll be like, "Oh my God, Kel, I can't believe it's you." And I'll be like, "Oh my God, I can't believe it's you." Like, I give them the same energy. We hug, and I make them feel like, we've known each other for a long time. Sometimes I'll be like, "What's your name?" And they're just like, and I'm like, no, what's your name? And I'll be like, "Oh, Veronica, nice to meet you, Veronica." And I'll talk to them like I know them, because I feel like I do,
Yeah. So you're a quantity over quality guy.
Quality over quantity, perhaps.
Quality over quantity. Yeah.
For certain metrics. Because
When are you the opposite? What do you want more of than less of? than better quality of.
I just it's different, right? Because at the end of the day, like, you know, you have the emotional side of it, but then you have the business side of it. And when it comes to working with brands, you need the numbers.
Okay.
You know, because brands will pay off of how many followers you got, how many views you got. So like I have like a left and right brain, and I feel like I've been fortunate enough to that, because before I did comedy, I was in business. I ran a business. I was really good in sales, and so, you know, there's the business, there's Baby Kel Media, and then there's the product, which is Baby Kel. So I kind of have to like switch depending on what situation I'm in.
Yeah, we're not a clean podcast, so Kanye West asked, one good girl is worth 1,000 bitches. What are you taking, the one good girl or the 1,000 bitches? What's going on?
Oh man.
He wanted to ask you this question, actually. He wanted to ask you if you ever caught Colombian, a Cuban.
Oh, 'cause you have those
Billy
videos.
Billy caught him,
Billy
but
has a video.
the
Yes.
Kels.
How
Yes.
to catch a Venezuelan.
Yes. I've dated a Venezuelan, I've dated a Colombian, I've dated a Cuban.
Now here's the question: out of those three, what's your favorite one?
Cuban, Venezuelan, and Colombian.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
What are those three?
Can
Why are
we
you
add
limited to
Puerto
three?
Rican?
I like those three. Oh,
If we add Puerto Rican, I'm going with Puerto Rican all
Okay.
day,
For the
every day.
fans.
Well, there's I don't know. There's nothing like getting like cussed out by somebody in your own language out of love, like, you know, like
your own
in,
accent.
your-
You're like,
in
oh,
your own
sounds
accent, in your own
mom.
accent. Yeah. It's just like just like mom.
Stories
used-
right
yeah,
there.
there's just some nostalgia about it. Pero
I think Jenny's nipples just got hard.
Wait, but that brings me.
It's
Going-
okay. I feel the same way. Come on.
Yeah, how did you know? Going back to that same topic, what's your love life like? You know, I'm sure that your fans are dying to know.
yeah, you know, it's funny because a lot of people, some people think I'm gay online. Some people,
That's
yeah,
just a Puerto Rican thing.
yeah,
That is
they-
very much Puerto
yeah, some people are like, is he gay? Is he straight? Does he have a girlfriend? Like, and I keep that pretty. I don't really ever talk about that, just because if you relate to me and you're gay, cool. You know, I just want to be able to relate to people. But my love life is something that I've always kept private from social media, only because I have friends that they do content with their couples and everything, and I just feel like that's tough because, you know, I deal with certain weird messages. I've dealt with weird stalkers. I've dealt with stuff like that, and to put my partner like in a vulnerable position
Yeah.
where, you know, she doesn't deserve that. And it's just, I don't trust people easily, and so I'm very paranoid and stuff. I've had weird situations happen to me, pero I'm single right now, but you know, I've dated girls for a
Single
If you're
while.
looking,
ladies.
hell yeah.
Yep, I dated a girl for a while, and no one knew that I was dating her or anything. I didn't even like follow her on social media. I didn't want people to like be able to kind of link it. As I grew on social media, it did become a little harder because, like, and I'll be straight up with you. Like, when I was first growing, I think I had like 20,000 followers, right? I was getting all these like moms, because my content relates a lot to moms. So I was getting all these moms on my DMs.
Talk about
Milf.
it.
Right?
Talk about it.
Yeah. So
Talk
so I
about
was
it.
getting all these moms. You
You
know,
like
All them
them
single
milfs.
mamas.
There's nothing better than a back rubbing
but let me let me tell you, like,
and her son's Capri Sun.
little Aiden's fruit snacks.
Nothing better.
That's-
Aiden, Jaden, they all name their kids that.
No, but like when I was first starting, like, you know, I was growing in followers, but I was living at a friend's house, paying him like $500 rent. I was playing 2K every day. This was like I was working 9 to 2 part time, going to make videos, going to go play basketball, coming home and playing 2K till 2 in the morning. I'm not making any money from social media. Like, my life, I'm just like, like just not really doing anything with my life, and I'm doing this for a little while, but I'm getting all this attention, and I'm just like, oh wow, tengo, you know, esta mujer just hitting me up because they see me on social media and they feel like they can relate to me or whatever. So yo estoy ahí getting their Snapchat and just mandando fotos a todo el mundo, just like, here, you can have a piece of Baby Kel. And then my friend was like, Kel, tú no puedes estar haciendo eso, like, your Baby Kel, like, you can't just be doing that. And he was the one who kind of like, oh, I can't be doing that, like, you
Brought
know.
you back to earth.
Yeah, it was like, yo, I gotta chill with this, because, you know, they might try to cancel me, try to expose me, I don't know. And but then I kind of like blocked that off. I dated girls where at first it was great, but then I realized that, when, they were like in fantasy world, they were like, oh my God, I'm with this este muchacho that I love from social media. But then when it got real, when it got reality of it, a lot of it didn't work. It's harder because I kind of have to navigate through that. I don't really answer that many DMs anymore. I've had beautiful women. I've had women that have way more following than me, that are famous, that have hit me up, pero that's not something that I think is something that I'm looking for, and I don't. One of the things is like I never wanted to be with somebody that was also in social media,
I feel you.
like because then it's like when is when is work gonna shut off? Like if I have like I don't even post too much about my personal life, and then she's over here posting, and then I like there has to be some balance and peace. Like I want to be able to just enjoy my life and do what I do. That's why I answered that question in the beginning, where it's like I would rather have money than have fame, and eventually I want to be able to not even be the person on the videos, put people that I think are
Just cash the checks.
yeah, like I want to be able to like I wish I would have had an opportunity where somebody saw me and were like, yo, this kid has talent. I have a road that if I plug him in, I can blow him up. I didn't get that, but I was like, you know what? Maybe I have to build that. And if I see people that have really skills and talent, maybe I can do that for somebody. Because, I just feel like to me, it doesn't matter whether I'm behind the camera, in front of the camera. Like I play different roles in videos, right? Like I'll play the female role, I'll play the male role. I only did that because I didn't have a female to play in the role. And then I started getting an actress to be in the female role. And I have just as much fun directing a video as I have acting sometimes in it.
So, Co, what's your move in the bedroom?
Let's go.
The move in the bedroom, I guess it depends. It depends how much confianza yo tengo con la persona.
Do you have any crazy stories?
Yeah, I got crazy stories. Man. Yeah, I have a crazy story
Is that
about
the wine bottle. Is that true?
yeah. So let me tell you. So that
What?
yeah. So that the wine bottle. So I have a bit, and for people listening or watching, I have a bit in stand up that it's where basically like I was dating this white girl, and she told me she was a virgin, and she wanted me to stick a wine bottle inside of her.
Wait, this is real?
Yeah. So you've heard the bit, right? I don't know if you've heard the
I've
bit,
heard it.
but I want you to know that everything in that story is 100% real. In fact, there's details that I haven't even told on stage, because after the wine bottle, it was a bottle of conditioner.
No.
Yeah. So I haven't even added that to stage, but yes, and the story is even crazier. Like the story, like I'm really working on that story because I met this girl like kind of like off of Craigslist, and we ended up moving into
What were you doing on Craigslist, fam?
well, I met
Back page down?
I was renting a room inside an Indian family's house. Like it's a pretty wild story, but yeah, I've had a lot of wild, crazy stories with women. Like I remember I dated a Cuban chick, and I was so head over heels with her, and then when her parents had left to Miami, of course, and ella está sola en la casa, and then we're kind of all getting into it, and then she gets on top of me. She was a little bit thicker, and at the time I was really skinny, so she was a lot stronger than me. And she
That's so
kind of
hot.
yeah, she
Stop, you're turning that one on.
just walking him
That's his
through
thing.
it.
She just mounted your ass.
Side crushing.
She literally pinned me down, and then she grabbed some lipstick, like red lipstick, and then she was just trying to put it on me. I'm
Wait,
just
on
like,
your face?
on my face,
What?
Like on your lips?
on my lips, because she's like, "Oh, you have beautiful lips." And I'm just like, and I'm in my head, what? Like this just turned, and then she's like, "Oh, I want to put a whole bunch of makeup on you, y todo," and I'm like, what is going on? This is the biggest turn off. Like I don't know what's going on. So I was like, okay, I have to give into it. So I was
How old were you when that happened?
Sorry.
this was like 3 years ago.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So it was after the fame.
She
Because I was
said-
gonna say you got
Baby
bit,
Kelly. She
you
wanted
got
baby
bit,
Kelly.
and then you put on the Momo.
Yeah. Well, this was like when maybe it was like 4 years ago. This was like around 2020. So I was just kind of starting. Pero yeah, ya me hizo eso, and then I remember I played off. I was like, listen, I want to do this, but I want to make it special. I want to make this whole,
Not you, it's me.
yeah, I want to make this special, and I think we should save it for tomorrow, y todo, like make it a whole thing, and I'll let you put the foundation, the eyelashes.
You never came back.
Dude,
You ran so
I
fast.
ran so fast. I was supposed to spend the night that night, and I was like, "Oh, I got some stuff," and I never spoke to her again. I dated a girl that was a witch. I
What?
didn't find out until we were
Boricua?
yeah.
Yeah.
But she was a witch that and these I'm not gonna share the full story because these are bits and stories that I'm wanting to work on to share on stage. But
Okay.
I've had crazy like dating stories, and this girl, basically, to let you know, we were getting into it, and out of nowhere she pulls like the biggest spell book, like un libro de spells. And
What?
Was she
took
older
it
than you?
open.
La, 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 la.
No, she was younger than me.
Okay.
She was younger than me.
What?
Like at first, she was like asking me
Abracadabra.
like my horoscopes and my zodiac y todo, and I'm like, okay.
Red flags.
I was like,
Right
yeah,
off the
that's
bat.
right. I was like, okay, está bien,
Let me get a
normal.
blood sample.
Yeah, then it started- it was-
What's
yeah.
your blood type? A, B, A
Yeah.
positive.
I need
B
a hair
negative?
sample as
Please
well.
hold
It-
this
it-
chicken.
It started to get really, really weird. So I left out of there, but she was really hot. So I came back 2 days later. Yeah.
That's the power of pussy, boy.
And this is gonna be our final question. You have a final question? I do have a question, but if you
No,
guys have
go
it,
ahead.
no,
No, I'm good.
you do have a final question.
No.
Do you have
No,
a
I
final question?
I mean, I'm gonna say this one for the viewers. So, what do you tell anybody who's trying to do the same thing you're doing? What's the blueprint? What advice you have for them if you wanted to give them like a 60-second, put them on game?
I think just like be a student of the game, and,
Yeah.
and whatever it is that you're doing, just study it, and then put whatever you study, put it into play. Because I think that's the thing that has separated me. Is like a lot of people don't realize how many videos I've watched to study how the algorithms work, to study
Yeah.
how social media works. Even doing stand up, like I've read the books, I've spent money on courses, I study the grades. I even look at my peers when they go up on stage and I see that you guys do something that I really liked. I'm like, oh, I see how he did that. I'm just a student of the game. It doesn't matter what level you are. That's why like you guys might be on stage and you might say a joke and the other comedians might want to be an asshole and not laugh, but I'll laugh because I think it's funny, because I appreciate the craft, and I think just be a student of the game, study, but also like implement a lot of the things that you learn, and don't wait, because it's got to be that mixture. You got to study it and execute. Some people just stay stuck on the studying part and they
Yeah.
never execute, or some people just are executing blindly and they're not getting the results that they want, but because they're not taking a step back to study. So I think those two things go hand in hand.
It's like that saying they say, don't spend so much time planning your masterpiece that you forget to paint it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That makes a lot of sense. I like that. Yeah.
All
I'm
right.
gonna get it tattooed.
Besides besides Puerto Rican culture, is there any other culture you like admire?
I like Colombian culture a lot, because when I was in high school, I was
we're all a fan of the Colombian culture.
yeah, I was
Thanks,
I
man.
grew up-
Cocaine, but
This guy.
No, para me, like I feel like Colombian culture is very similar to Puerto Rican culture. I had a lot of friends, and I was around a Colombian family when I was in high school a lot, and they treated me like family. So I feel like that culture is very endearing. And Dominicans too. I had a lot of friends that were Dominicans, and I spent a lot of time with their families. And I think Dominican, Colombian are two cultures that stick very dear well in my heart. So
my work wife's Colombian. His real wife is Colombian.
My real wife?
Colombia's playing
Oh, my
Brazil
bad.
tonight, so
Put my
good
shit out there. I
luck.
was about to ask you about that Cuban girl. I'm
my
putting you
bad,
down.
Cuban girl. What is it? What is it? Dominicans. The first social media influencers I watched were Dominican influencers who were making parody videos. So I think to this day, whenever I hear Dominican talk, I just start laughing. But it's because it takes
They
me
talk
back.
so funny. That's funny.
It was just the. It was
They
the
don't
first
talk, they
one.
yell,
Hear
homie.
them talk.
I think
It's
you know
funny.
the majority of Hispanic like comedians online, for the most part, I didn't see that many Puerto Ricans. A lot of them were Dominicans. That was a lot.
Yeah.
Even like you look at somebody like Le Juan, where even though he's half and half, when he speaks, you associate it with Dominican. Like it's very Dominican. So
Fix.
Yeah. Judge our Puerto Rican accent. Which one has the best Puerto Rican accent? Rate our Puerto Rican accent. Jenny, go ahead.
Mira, papi, ven aquí, ¿cómo está la cosa, man? Yo soy con mi pana, yo.
Rate it.
That's
Rate
it.
it. 1 to 10. 1 to 10.
One, do the talk en verdad español.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Like, but for real, I love for real.
Mi nombre es Jennifer Rosado.
That's like that Telemundo.
All right.
Sounds very Mexican.
Go ahead.
My Spanish shit. Let's see. Papi, estamos activados 24/7, ya tú sabes.
Oh, that's very Puerto Rican, yeah.
Yeah, that gives me that gives me like
And to preface that, I've been practicing on Spanish because I'm not around a lot of Spanish people, so I've been listening to a lot more Spanish music
Okay.
too.
Without knowing you, that gives me like, you have a very strong Puerto Rican family. You probably grew up over here. I haven't heard you speak too much English, so I don't know if it's Orlando or New York or maybe Chicago, but you probably been to the island a couple times. You mess with the culture y todo, so tú te sientes identificado con él.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I got from what you just said. I got that you probably never been to Puerto Rico.
Listen, I have the birth certificate, okay?
Okay.
I'm a, what is it?
Good
the
enough. Yo no sabo kid.
No sabo kid.
I was
Hey.
explaining that concept to somebody yesterday.
I had to Google something because I didn't know what it was. and
Yeah,
I'm
yo no
like,
sabo kid.
Okay.
Hey,
Yeah.
you're ahead of step of me because you were born in Puerto Rico and I wasn't. So,
But
you
you
were
were
born here?
raised there.
all right, that's the end of the podcast. Thank you. Guys.
He's 100% Puerto Rican, you guys. Don't worry.
I was born in Miami, pero I grew up in Puerto Rico.
No, that's awesome.
Acho, papi, en verdad.
Papi, tú eres boricua, de
No.
verdad. Te vayamos en la casa.
my best friend's by one.
Oh,
Yeah,
there
yeah,
you go. There you
I
go.
always thought he was just lying to me because he wanted to seem street.
Oh, you want my accent?
Yeah.
Acho, mano, estamos aquí con Baby Kill. Tú no tienes tanta gata como Baby Kill, papá.
That's actually
Eh,
pretty good.
I
That's
thought
pretty good. I feel like Venezuelans. There's an area in Venezuela. I think it's in the coast that they talk very Caribbean. Que hablan bien caribeño. Venezuelans. But I had a
Couldn't
friend.
say what
I
part.
had a friend that was Venezuelan, and you guys have a lot of similar words that Puerto Ricans use. It's very like ustedes tienen mucho slang también.
Yeah, we're
En
in
su-
the same area,
en
like
su
the
propia
Caribbean
manera.
part of Venezuela, right next to
I
Puerto
think like the
Rico,
most
so
proper, speaking Spanish is, I think it's like Colombia and Mexico. I think
Mexico,
Mexico speaks
100%.
one of the
That's
most.
why they do all the
Yeah.
what is it, the
They have different dialects.
voiceovers
Yeah,
and whatever.
pero nada como la arepa venezolana, papi. That you guys got
On your
that.
face,
No,
Colombian.
no,
Yeah.
no,
An
no.
empanada de Puerto Rico.
No, Koreans have the best arepas.
Koreans?
Yeah, you got
Koreans?
the sandwich bow. It's in the fucking arepa.
What?
I don't even know.
I just want to be
Oh.
disrespectful.
We gotta
I
make
just love being
a
disrespectful.
Korean
For the next
snack.
episode, you need to bring a Korean. I think.
We're gonna bring a Korean with
I'm
arepa.
So we're gonna bring a
You guys
Korean
seen
for
the-
the next podcast.
You guys seen the sandwiches?
The banh
The
mi?
Korean? Yeah, no, not the banh mi.
Banh mi?
That's Vietnamese. Come on, man. What's
The
going on
bowel.
over here?
I don't know what you're
These
talking
people-
about. I don't know much
Bowel.
about Asians. Other
For-
than
for
they-
Luis
they
is
look
like,
suspicious.
Why are they always squinting? Like, what's going on?
Why are they looking at me like that?
I appreciate Asian culture. I actually grew up watching a lot of people from California make YouTube content, and they were really popular like in 2009, and they were all Asians. They were from like different parts of Asia. Timothy Delgado, you know who that is? They're YouTubers.
from
YouTubers.
Wild 'N Out.
He was on Wild Now. He was a YouTuber way before he was on Wild Now.
Yeah, he was way ahead of the game before this was even a real.
There was a lot of Asians actually that just were big on YouTube, and they were traveling. They actually sort of set the platform for us to be able to do what we do, like for YouTubers to do what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
YouTubers.
Where can they see you at? Where can they find you at?
So my address is
Social security number.
my social security is 591. No,
Ooh.
that's actually part of it, but
You're crazy for saying that.
it's not.
They're gonna
That's what
find it now.
No, just on social media, I show up as Baby Kel on every platform: TikTok, Instagram, MySpace, todo.
Let's go.
Baby Kel.
MySpace.
And then just kind of look out for my stories because I'll be posting like whenever I do a show. So I might be going to a city to open up a show for somebody. So
You've been growing quite a bit in stand-up comedy, man. Yeah, I've seen you've been to New York, Miami, performing with these big people.
yeah, it's
That's
been-
awesome.
Yeah, it's been great, pero yo me he estado matando, bro. Like I've been really killing myself for those opportunities, and not taken lightly because some of the people that I've worked with in stand up, like these guys are like they've been doing comedy for 20 plus years, and they'll tell me like, yo, we saw you perform and we'll be straight up with you. We thought you were going to be garbage because you're one of these little social media people, but you kind of held your own. So a lot of them have like seen me do stand up before they've even taken me to open some other shows. So yeah, it's been growing fast, but it's so much fun. I love it. And
Congratulations
obviously,
on that,
thank
my
you.
man.
But as comedians,
been
bro,
great.
you know that there's you know, there's nothing like being on stage. So hopefully, like, people watching this, listening, you know, come out to these guys' shows, support these guys, support the podcast.
We appreciate that.
Así que keep listening. Y ya tú sabes.
Thank
Love
you, baby
you.
Alright,
Kel.
it's been the
Thank you
504
for coming,
podcast.
man. We
504.
appreciate
Kels, yo,
you.
appreciate you being on, man.
Oh, thank you for
Thanks,
having me on.
Kel.
You guys promoting any shows?
I got 3 shows. I got July 11th, this Thursday. No, next Thursday. I will be at the Wheelport Warehouse. We have a show coming up
July 18th. That's a Binks. It's a cafe.
Let's go.
New show I'm putting together. That one's gonna be there, so it's gonna be fun. Come on over.
and Wine Drunk is having their 1 year anniversary, and I'm on that too. That's the 16th, I believe.
Jenny, you got anything?
Yeah, I'm actually doing a show with Baby Cow
Let's
July
go.
3rd.
Oh
Special holiday edition
Wednesday.
at Balmoral Bar and Grill. It's Haines City, Florida, so I'll be posting that. And then I'm also doing Saturday, July 20th, Laughs Are Us Comedy Night. That's in Old Town Tavern. And I'll post that. And what else? And July 27th, again, that's a Saturday Night Laughs. Kirkman Road at Kalalu. Someone done that? No? Okay, yeah. Yeah, so I'll be there. All right, cool.
It's been 504, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you, guys.
And I was like, yeah, bitch. Come to mama, baby.
You're so aggressive.
And